All right, everybody, welcome to Word on the Street, episode 85, brought to you by Lean Solutions Group. The street crew is coming in. Got Beefcake Bane in the house today. What's up, Robert? How are you, buddy?
Fresh off the truck. It's a good day, man.
Fresh off what the truck. That's right. You had a performance. How'd you go? What you guys talked about on there?
Talked a little bit about port congestion, talked about what we're looking forward to in 2022. I made some, I wouldn't say Super Bowl predictions, but I made one that's pretty bullish on. There will be one very large M&A sometime in H1 of 22. Don't know what.
Well, Craig's been saying that for a long time, just teasing everybody. So I'm sure that there's going to be several, but definitely at least one.
There's one that's going to shake the world up. Like not just one that's going to shake the world up. That's how big it is.
Okay. Very good. Well, we're going to have a similar show, I guess. I probably should have checked their agenda first because we're going to talk about port congestion. I want to know who's going to win the Super Bowl. So we have all that in the house as well. Tyler, what's up, man? How you doing, buddy?
Nada. I didn't know there was any port congestion. What are you guys talking about?
No, it's fake news. It's nothing real.
Listen, there's no ships. There's nothing in the water. Nothing to double check.
Nothing there. Nothing to view. It's interesting. They keep pushing the ships further out, which is interesting. And I guess there's like a line where they officially count as being like anchored. So they're not counting the ones that are past a certain line. It's kind of interesting. But Greg, what's up, man? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I was just coming on here and you talk about the ports or the ships not in the port.
Right, not counting. That's right. They're still technically.
Wait. You're saying the government is fudging the numbers? They would never do that. They would never fudge the numbers to the public about anything.
That's not it, Robert. That's not what's going on.
They'd never do that.
That's not what's happening. So we'll talk a little bit about that and a few other things that are going on. So Greg, you'll be excited to know that I have actually worked out 2 days in a row. So
there we go.
That's big news. And next week I'll be in Colombia. I'll be with our new director of sales, Josh Bailey, and he and I are going to start doing some running at elevation. So that's going to be pretty brutal. We'll see how that goes. Did you guys know Bogota, 8,000 feet elevation?
Oh,
I think you mentioned that before. Yeah.
Yeah, where Coleman is. It's even higher than Denver. So what is Denver? About 5,000 elevation? Is that right?
Yep, right around there.
Yeah. So we'll be running at 8,000 elevation. I'm telling you, like if you just walk up a flight of stairs of like 30 stairs in like Medellin or Bogota, your heart rate, like I check my heart rate, it's like 110. I'm like, dang.
Still happens to me every day.
I mean, that could also be like just a general other health issue.
No, my resting heart rate is like 55, man. Shut up. It's good.
I like you had to pull the arms up a little bit. That was nice. That was good.
I was doing it just to pull my shirt up. You're such a jerk. You're a bully. All right. Moving on.
I'm 9 days out from a meet. Like I'm ready to tear some.
Yeah. Coleman, how are you doing, buddy?
Good. Another beautiful day out here. Getting winded.
Of course, it's a beautiful day there. You're in Denver, so it's nice weather all the time, which is good. Yeah, so a lot of good things happening. Lots going on in the world. I feel like it's been a while since we spoke. I have to tell you guys what happened last week. First of all, we planned on having the show. I forgot. I completely forgot. First time in a year and a half that I just got so kind of busy and wrapped up in my own world that I just totally forgot to send out the invite. I forgot to be there. I started building a laundry room for my wife. She was very excited about it. So I had all the wood and I was just like focused on just getting the platform built and starting to do that. And it was Sunday night. And I was like, man, we didn't have Word on the Street. I totally missed it. So my bad. First time in a year and a half that we haven't had the show. So pretty wild.
When you say you're building a laundry room, are you just throwing up walls down in the basement or what does that look like?
No. So we have a third car garage, but our third car garage is not really a third car garage. It's only 16 feet long. And if you go out and measure your vehicle, it'd be longer than that. Like you can only put maybe a smart car in there or maybe like a really small Honda Civic or something like that. So it's not really a third car garage. It's more for tools, for lawnmowers and stuff like that. So we have a pass-through laundry room and we've always had a pass-through laundry room. We've never had a good laundry room in our marriage and all the houses that we've owned, none of them have had a good laundry room. And so, there's no room to fold clothes and hang things up and iron and stuff like that. So my wife has been wanting a laundry room and we're like, okay, maybe we can use part of the garage. And so finally we just said, we're going to take part of that 16 feet. We're going to take 7 of it along with the existing laundry room that we have. So it's going to be like a 9x10 laundry room. It's going to be nice. It'll be perfect for her. So so we're working it all out, getting it going, but I started the project. And so I just totally forgot. So it's kind of crazy, but nobody texted me. This is funny. I talked to Greg about it. Nobody sent me a text like, hey, are we having the show today? So clearly nobody wanted to do it. So it's fine. So we were
in
all
a food coma. We were in a food coma.
Everybody's in a food coma, which is great. So Rhonda, what's up? How are you?
Hey, how's it going, gang?
What's going on in Arizona today?
Oh, nice and toasty. I just saw Bane on What the Truck. That was fun.
Yeah. Can you drive over to Chris Jolly's house and ask him why he's not on the show?
Yeah.
Just go right over there and just
hiking with me, by the way. So
he went hiking with you?
No, we have that on our schedule. So
oh, nice. We'll see if he shows for that. Yeah.
Take
some pictures. See if he's huffing and puffing. So he says he's been working out. He's been dropping some weight. So we'll see.
He looks fantastic.
We'll
yeah.
No, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. So, but anyways, a lot of good things going on. So what is new in the transportation world? We talked about this a little bit with Bain. He's already gone, as you can see, had to jump off. But we got the port situation going on. We got the Christmas holidays. Have you guys been hearing or experiencing as a consumer a shortage of supply, a shortage of products on the shelves? What are you guys seeing out there? What are you hearing?
At least by me, I haven't seen a shortage of a bunch of things, but randomly enough, I don't know where I saw it. The other day, I saw that grocery stores in certain places were putting up pictures of full shelves in front of empty shelves to have consumers thinking that it's like, oh, everything is kind of normal. But if you peek behind it, it was absolutely empty. I don't know exactly where it was. Couldn't have been a very credible source, but there were pictures. It was true.
So they're basically just putting up huge pictures. It has to be.
Yeah.
But then behind it, the shelves are completely empty.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, think about when COVID first hit and grocery stores were just absolutely empty. That's where some of these places are experiencing, and they combated it by putting up pictures of full shelves. It's interesting.
That seems like some store manager's terrible idea. Like, hold on, I got the solution.
Just throw up some pictures. They'll never know. They'll never know the difference. I do remember when, last year, when this whole thing started, it was the first time in my life that I've gone to a store and they either said we're out or it's limit 1 per customer, limit 2 per customer. That was kind of a big thing back then. I haven't seen that actually in the stores that we have here.
Same.
I don't know if anybody else is seeing that. My wife goes to Costco. She's still spending $300. So there's clearly stuff there to buy. So, not seeing it there either, but I'm curious because, the whole thing was back in October, they're like, hey, buy your Christmas presents now, or they're not going to get there on time. I mean, I just bought something that took 2 days, just a couple of days ago. I mean, I've done that several times. I haven't seen the delay. I just don't know if that's a real thing or if that's companies that are marketing to get sales in advance. I mean, I don't know. Kyle, you got a thought on that?
Depends on.
Go ahead, Greg. Sorry. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think it depends on what you're going for. If you're looking for a general idea, like a toy space shooter, and I'm going to use this just because it's what we were looking at, you can find a generic one, right? But if you're looking for the special Star-Lord, this, that, or the other one, we couldn't find it, right? And it was always sold out, or there was something else that I forget what it was, but we were ordering it, and if we were to order it on Amazon, it wouldn't have gotten here until like January 10th, right?
Arnold Schwarzenegger would have found it, Greg. Just saying.
I was gonna say.
Well, hey,
have you punched
Mary all
someone
the way? Yeah. Not in a long time. Not in a long time. But
hey, is anybody else hearing Greg's microphone sound like he's talking through a fan, like he's Darth Vader? Is that just me? Interesting. When Greg talks and I hear it, it's got the sound like he's talking into a fan, like hello, the whole thing. Weird. I don't know.
You sound good to us, Greg. Don't worry.
Yeah. Keep talking, Greg. You're fine. No worries.
I'm
make you self-conscious for the rest of the show.
I'm seeing issues still with athletic apparel. Somewhat athletic apparel. Still taking very long.
Interesting. Yeah, I was going to say from my end, I mean, the only thing, it's been bigger stuff. Like we ordered a new desk, and this was probably about 3 months ago, and it still hasn't gotten here. But
furniture,
that,
furniture for sure.
Our water heater went at Global Trans to the fitness center, and it's an $8,000 special unit. So we're all like putting money in the pot. Like, when do we think that this is going to actually
taking bets?
Cold shower now. There's absolutely no hot water. So
I love it.
My hair looks a little rough today.
Well, furniture has been that way for a while. I mean, furniture, that's, the 3-month delay on appliances or furniture, that's been somewhat, I think, consistent. But the whole idea of like Christmas presents, I don't know. I just haven't heard people talking about how I can't get this or that. Like, occasionally, like a specialized thing, maybe some Legos, I don't know. Yeah. But I just haven't heard, especially with food products and stuff like that. It hasn't been too big of an issue. So
I haven't had any issues. So knock on wood.
Yeah. Diana, what's up? How are you?
I'm good. I'm here.
Yay. There you are. Excellent. And we got Megan on the line. Megan, do you have a camera? Nobody can see you. Nobody can see in the show.
I do, but
too much going on at the house.
a little bit. I'm leaving to go to Kansas City later today.
Oh,
I'm kind of running around on my phone, but I still wanted to like listen in and contribute and stuff. I did hear that there's that if you're a wine drinker, that you should stock up because there's not a wine shortage, but a bottle shortage.
Interesting.
Actually, now that you bring that up, in our little area, I don't know what's caused it, but for some reason, Sauvignon Blanc, there is a huge shortage of that. Like Costco by us hasn't had Sauvignon Blanc in probably like 6 months for whatever reason.
Yeah, and you're like banging your fist on the counter. I can tell when you go. Like, where is it?
Yeah, give it to me. I know you got some in the back.
Let me go back.
I don't want to put on a tinfoil cap, but if you owned a giant vineyard, would you also say, "Hey, we're out of bottles. Buy up all your wine now while you can"?
I'm telling you, like you don't. How do you know, right?
Yeah, but as a marketer, if you're able to do that and you're able to get that message out, you need to be paid a million times more. Because how the hell did you get everyone to listen to you and actually act like that? Because if you drive that type of action, you're an amazing marketer. Like, I get the conspiracy thing, but let's be realistic. Like, how often, like, my town can't even freaking tell us when the damn lights are going to be up for Christmas because you can't get anyone's attention. Like, if I'm a small winery that's like, hey, I heard a story about it. Like, that's not, I understand the conspiracy theory, but how realistic is that?
Or just one particular wine, not all their wines, just one of their wines, not all of them.
Yeah, it's like an I just wanted my wine. Why the hell did you guys believe Sauvignon Blanc? Damn it.
Yeah, that's so funny. Well, it's interesting in the world of digital marketing and ordering online. Like you may not know, like that you probably could get away with messaging from a marketing perspective now that you may not have been able to get away with, 2 or 3 years ago when you were going to the store, 5 years ago, whenever that was happening. So that's interesting, the whole digital marketing concept. And Kyle, by the way, you're not in the studio today. What's up? You're not in the Freight Plus studio.
Oh, because I'm working. Legit. Got so much work. Usually I get to talk to you guys and joke.
So if you're in the studio, we know there's no work going on. Kyle's not.
Yeah.
Okay, now we know.
I'm just listening. I'm having fun. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Very cool. All right. So we talked a little about this at the beginning. It's about the ship stuck at anchor. Dooner's been reporting this quite a bit on Twitter, if you follow him on Twitter. But, the port of the official port numbers and the government numbers, they keep talking about how they're going down. But then when you look at data, like what FreightWaves has in Sonar, you look at P44's data on ocean, cargo ships, you're seeing a lot more, but they're further out. It's like they're telling them to wait further out. And so they're not actually in the official count. Do we see any slowdown from this? I mean, Greg, you're in this a lot, working with the ports and cargo containers. What are we seeing when it comes to actual congestion at the ports and the backlogs and the trucks that are sitting around waiting that we saw before? Is that still going on?
I have not heard one customer say, wow, things have really gotten better. I mean, so take that for what it's worth. Like, and yeah, you look at the numbers when you're comparing it to what it was pre-COVID, right? The average number in a port was like 1. So whether or not that's 30, 50, 80, 100 right now, it's significantly more than the ports are designed to be able to manage. That's where we're at with that. I've said it before, and I think until something that doesn't currently exist today is put in place at the ports, it's not going to get any better anytime soon. So, I mean, and by what I mean by that is like, there's got to be some sort of technology that, I think, I don't know if you guys have seen, there's, video of the drone that can basically pick up a container. Like,
that's kind of cool.
That there's going to need to be something like that to get us out.
That is one heck of a drone. That's like a helicopter.
Well, and I think it was all just computerized, so it wasn't actually physically happening yet. But yeah, basically it was helicopters attached to this thing that could then move the containers. And the idea is that if you get that, you don't need to go into these huge cranes that are slow and move it. You can do it much quicker. So
I'm surprised they haven't used those massive helicopters already, to start doing some of that stuff. Or have they?
Greg, I mean, what's going, like, you probably can talk a little bit, but with the whole contract, like not wanting to extend the contract and the whole automation at the ports, like the unions, that's something that my guys are saying, like, oh, you got to watch out for this, the whole ILWU and the potential for strike next year at the ports added with the distribution. Greg, do you believe it, or what do you, because all I hear is what I hear. So what help educate me on this?
I don't think it's gonna, I don't know. I don't want to say anything out of school, but I don't think that that's going to come to fruition. Every single time any contract comes close to the end, all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, there's going to be a huge issue. There's going to be a stoppage. There's going to be this, there's going to be that. I mean, you might see a couple of things happen. I remember years ago in Oakland, there was, and this was probably the most severe I've ever, kind of been, I'm not going to even say firsthand, but, been able to see when they did the slowdown, and it was just they literally worked slowly. And that was the biggest impact that I've seen or been aware of, I guess.
I mean, it's all stemming from automation, though. That's the interesting thing, because from what I understand, it's the West Coast unions want to take away, because they allowed automation, where East Coast has been hardcore on, no, you can't automate. But from what I understand, it's that West Coast is like, well, wait a second, our jobs are going away. There's a freaking drone up there that could take this crap off the boat. What the hell am I doing? Like, it's an interesting thing. Is like, again, you don't want to tout losing jobs, but at the same point, what's good for the nation.
Well, the reality is any sort of automation isn't going to eliminate, well, it will eliminate some jobs and create others, right?
Right.
The car eliminated the buggy whip industry. So
there's still some people
horse breeders. There are some, that's for sure. No, you're right. This is an interesting conversation about automation versus unions, because unions, they're designed to protect the middle class and wages and those kind of things, and to band together, which I think the concept of that is generally a good idea. But then the flip side is, how does that impact progress, automation that is coming? Like, it's going to come no matter what. And you think about what could be done versus what is being done right now. At what point will the unions no longer be able to limit automation? And that'll be interesting play. I don't know what the answer is on that, but that'll be
especially as Biden's a pro-union president, so it'll be interesting, especially as the union president over in the West Coast isn't. And again, I probably sound like the stupidest person in the world, because you guys are all like, oh yeah, no, duh, you dumbass. But
usually,
normally that's what the whole point of the beard is. So keeps you guys fooled. Touching, you guys are like, oh, he's a beefcake, like Bane. Not true. Flabby dad bod under here. But I know the West Coast union president was talking about, like, listen, what I'm saying here in San Francisco doesn't necessarily mean locally they're going to follow along, which is interesting when you think of kind of what the makeup and demographic of these, like what makes up these unions. I mean, you hear "Let's Go Brandon," you see that picture, and this is in Massachusetts of, like, I did that with Biden. I wonder how the politics, I keep asking this, but everyone's like, I don't know about it. The politics of everything seems to seep into everything. So is this something that could occur a little bit? I guess is my question for the group.
Does anybody have an answer? I don't think we know.
I'm not touching that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
This group's talked about vaccine mandates for multiple times in a row. We can't just talk about unions.
No, I do think it's going to be a fight too, but I think eventually, the unions are going to have to get smart and understand this is coming, and then figure out what's in their best interest moving forward. I mean, they're smart. They'll have to think through that, because, like, just with everything else, it's like warehouse automation. Warehouse automation is now a thing. And unions can't stop that for the most part. I mean, that's here. That's only going to progress, only going to continue. They got to figure out, what does that mean for the workers who are now running the automation, the technology in there? Are they going to have a place? I mean, unions are still really big where you can't automate, like teaching. You're not going to automate teaching anytime soon, maybe someday, but not right now. But how does that impact things like, skilled labor, robotics, for example, when you're a welder, right? I mean, the welders were unions, and then all of a sudden robotics come and they weld everything, from a robot, and how do you transition? How do you make that transition as a union or moving forward in a way that makes sense? And politically speaking, you're right. I mean, the left tends to be more pro-union, the right's, anti-union, but has a lot of workers that work in union jobs or in jobs that are typically union. I don't know. We'll see what happens. That's a great question, Kyle. Great question. Let's transition. We got Nick Rumor in the house. Nick, what's up, man? Throw the camera on. Let's see the baby. Come on. What are we looking at today? Where are you at? There
in
we
the
go.
car.
In the car, even better. I like it. You're the second one in the car today. This is dedication. This is what I'm talking about, folks. This is the street crew right here. We got two people
on the wrong
side,
though, Nick.
We got some people working. He's on the wrong side.
Yeah, no, I flipped my camera. That's it. Like, goes driving.
Right. It's so funny to see a steering wheel on that side of the car. So, but so is this you escaping the house? No kids? You got out of the house? Is this how it works?
No, I literally just been asked to. I was wanting to jump on. I finally finished all my work. I was like, I'm going to jump in a call, and then I've been summoned to get some groceries. So yeah.
Good man. So you're working too,
dad, right?
Yeah, you're working too. How are things over there in terms of? We talked a lot about supply chain. We talked about shortages and that kind of stuff. Are you seeing that stuff over there? We're not seeing it as much over here, except in like appliances, furniture, and maybe some specialty items. Some certain Christmas gifts.
Big ticket items. You see that here, furniture especially, because we wanted to buy a new sofa, and they said, well, you can wait until like July next year. Literally, that's what it was. So, bigger appliances, the small stuff like like literally the stuff you buy from Amazon because they've got so much in stock. We've got a depot close by, so that's fine. It's the bigger things like the specialist items, the cars and the furniture stuff. That's long lead time.
7 months, man. You could have a whole new plan or style at that point. Can you imagine getting a sofa and you decided to put up new curtains or change the carpet? It's like, well, screw that.
Yeah, and we still have the problems with the drivers here because we got so like here you can start driving a bit quicker even than the US, but we got such a backlog of like applications for people to get their provisional, and they're like I think at the moment I'm like 6 to 8 months behind, but like just putting all the professionals out. So that's why we've got a shortage in drivers. Not so much because we don't have enough drivers, we do, but they just don't have their licenses like printed.
They're not finding a way to expedite that. That seems like an easy fix to expedite that.
You should, but I don't know. It's on the news every day, but it's not found the answer yet.
Interesting, very interesting. Well, good luck getting those groceries, man. It's good to see you. Thought things are going well. You getting any sleep these days?
No, not yet.
You're not even going to remember this conversation. I love it. Very good.
Yeah,
enjoy getting the groceries, man. Aaron, Raquel, good to see you too. How you guys doing?
Good. How are
Pennsylvania crew representing.
Oh,
I love it.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday.
Hey, Raquel. How are you?
I'm well. Ready for the weekend for sure.
Yeah. You got some hikes in play. The weather's actually pretty nice right now.
I plan on it. I didn't get out and hike the past week. I had a back injury. So this weekend I plan on getting a couple miles in.
Man, look at this right now. This is the temperature in where I'm at, and I'm not playing golf, people. This is ridiculous.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I know. Let me tell you, it's going to be
39 here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My car said it could be icy this morning. I was pissed.
Trey, did you mean to finish your sentence where I'm not playing golf yet?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Cool.
I did say it'll be an early day today. Yeah, you don't catch these days too often, and I
think I got the Omicron.
I do. I have the sticks right here. They live indoors in the winter, but they will be making a trip outdoors today. That is true. That is correct. We'll be getting out there for sure. So it'll be good. All right. Well, let's switch gears for a second. So we are over halfway through the NFL season. The college football season is starting to wrap up. Had some big games last week and rivalry week. And so I thought I'd throw a poll out there, especially for those of you that love sports, and I know that you guys do. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick poll. I don't have any music going today either. Man, I'm off my game. 1 week off and I don't have anything working. What's the problem here? Let's see if I can get this going and then we'll get that all fixed. I'm going to take this real quick. It's an untitled poll. Look at that. I didn't give it a title today. That's how off my game I am. But go ahead and take that real quick. We'll get some music going.
Aaron Rodgers needs a haircut.
You put who cares for a Tiger Woods question? Damn, Trey.
Hey, if Chris Jolly was here, I wanted to make sure. And of course, Aaron, she's going to pick that, of course. So I had to just think about the people. Had to think about the people. So
you're doing it to the GOAT. I can't believe you, man.
Hey, the GOAT's coming back, baby. You know how I would vote in this poll, but no need to put that in there.
Have you seen PGA Tours like TikTok? Like they have lost their damn minds for Tiger now. It's
Dude,
all about like he's back.
Barstool Sports, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of feel bad for the rest of the golfers because like all Tiger has to do is put a 3-second video, on Twitter, and nobody else matters at that point. Like they don't care about anybody else.
Dude, didn't he win the extra like the prize money you get for being popular with being injured?
I haven't seen that come out, but literally the guy's he should get, all of it. I mean, like, again, a 3-second video and the whole world is like, yes, I can't wait. It's the way it works. All right, finishing up here. 2 more. We got to take the poll, and then we're done. I've been on an Ed Sheeran kick lately, people.
A what?
An Ed Sheeran kick. Musically.
You got a bad habit.
Ed Sheeran. Yeah. Yep.
I have a question for everyone.
Please.
I had somebody share their top podcast that they listen to on Spotify. So would anyone like to share their top podcast that they listen to? Because I'm interested in hearing who else I can listen to.
Raquel, this is another poll. Okay, let me do the poll. This is a whole other poll. All right. Let's just hold your horses.
I'll text you, Raquel.
All right.
Back up a little bit. Let's get through one poll before we go to another. All right. We'll get there. We'll get there. But that is a good question. So we'll come back to that in just a minute. That's a great question. All right. Let me end the poll. We're going to share it. We'll get through this real quick. It's going to be great. I love this time of year for sports. It's a lot of fun. Poll is closed. Sharing the results. Which team's going to win the college football playoff? Looks like it's pretty high on the Georgia list. 5, you say Georgia. 3 say Michigan. Michigan doesn't ever come through. Don't fool yourself. They're not gonna make it. I would love for them to. I've got a friend from high school. His son Ronnie Bell's on the team. To be great, but I don't think they're gonna do it. And only 2 have picked Alabama. I'll tell you, rooting against Alabama is like rooting against Tom Brady at your own peril, my friends. That's all I'm gonna say. It's your own peril. We'll see what happens. Nobody's choosing Cincinnati, though. A breakout winner, Oklahoma State or other. All right. There's no parity. I hate that about college football. Like in basketball, there's like 25 teams that have a really good shot at winning, in basketball.
Well, there's 25 teams that have a shot at getting lucky at the right time.
Wait a second. No parity.
Right, but that doesn't happen.
Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, and Notre Dame aren't going to be in it this year. That's complete parity.
There's 6 teams. I'm saying in basketball,
you're having 2 new ones. There's a 4-team playoff.
I know it sucks.
Well, hopefully it gets updated.
Watch the pros if you want a 12-team playoff.
I mean, there's more teams that have a chance to win. I mean, in college football, if you lose a game, there's a good chance you're not going to get there. There's a good chance. Now
that's what makes the games fun.
Yeah, but think about that. They're 19-year-olds. You have one bad game, you're screwed. Like, if you want to set that standard, set it for the 25-year-old who's a professional.
But you get the rivalry.
Don't set that standard for
you get the rivalry. You get all the other stuff.
More people have a chance to win it all. I would rather see more playoff games than regular season games if you're going to go that route. So instead of having 12 regular season games and only 2 playoff games, make it a 9-game regular season, and then you can do a 32-team tournament and see who actually wins. Right? Like,
they're going to 8 teams soon.
I hope so. They better go to that. But that's my take on that. All right, question 2. Moving on, because I can tell Aaron's bored to death. Here we go. Number 2. Who is going to win the NFL? She's making that face, everybody. Just watch her. Who is going to win the NFL MVP? Wow, over 5 of you say Tom Brady. The dude's 44. Is this not unbelievable?
Still the odds-on favorite.
It's crazy. Patrick Mahomes only 2, but if he has a good end of the season, he's still leading statistically. So if they win out, I think he's got a good shot. Aaron Rodgers, of course, pretty boy. He's got a shot at that. Nobody picked Dak. Okay. All right. One of you picked
I don't even know who that is.
Dak Prescott. Yeah. Well, of course, because you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Mm-hmm. He's the quarterback of the Cowboys. So, of course, you don't know him and don't like him. Exactly. And then Kyler Murray. That guy's just fun to watch. I'd love to see him win. He's just entertaining, and they're in first place. And then, of course, other. Who chose other? Who am I missing? Raquel. You just didn't.
I feel like I just picked random things. I don't know anything about sports.
Forget it. I don't care.
I like that you talk about no parity in college, but your MVP is old ass Tom Brady.
Like, hey, he's clearly still better than everybody else, but there's at least there's 7
no
guys
parity
that
is
have
what
a shot, and there's 12 teams that have a shot at it. Okay, 12 teams get a chance to win it. So shut it. All right, next question 3: which teams will make it to the Super Bowl? I'm hoping you guys follow the instructions here. You don't only pick one AFC and one NFC. You couldn't pick 2 AFCs or 2 NFCs, and you needed to vote. I bet some of you didn't even vote. All right, so 5 of you think the Patriots are going to get there. Now, most of you know that the Patriots don't have Tom Brady, correct? Just to make sure that. Right. Okay. All right. Just making sure everybody's aware of that. They don't have Tom Brady anymore. The Chiefs get 3 votes. Baltimore gets 2. That's good. Arizona, Tampa Bay got 2, and Dallas got 1. So clearly some people didn't vote. But it looks like we're going to have an either New England, Tampa Bay. That would be fascinating. Belichick versus Brady. I would watch that. Or, of course, Chiefs, Buccaneers rematch. I'd be way down for that as well. So some good options there. We'll see what happens on that. All right. Last question. Had to switch to golf. Will Tiger Woods win again on the PGA Tour? Only one of you chose no. Don't come back next week. Don't need to be here. Two of you, yes, but not a major champion. Greg chose no. Oh, Greg. Oh my gosh, Greg.
Talk about Tom Brady being old. Tiger's not much.
Yeah, but see, this is different. It's golf. See, Phil Mickelson won the PGA at 50 this year. Tiger's only 46. I mean, it's possible. Golf's way
got
different.
A broken back.
Not anymore. It's been fused. All good.
Ask Steve Kerr how that worked out.
All right. Two. So two of you think he will, but not a major championship. Two says yes, including a major. I would be in that category because he always has a shot at the Masters and he always has a shot at the Open because it's a short course and he knows the way around. So he's got 2 out of 4 that he's got a shot at every year. Don't roll your eyes at me, Aaron, because I know you chose 5, or you chose who cares. 5 of you did. That's right.
I did.
Aaron, Raquel, who else chose? I don't know. It doesn't matter. All right. We'll move on from that. Let's move on to a better poll. Let's go with Raquel. So let's talk about what podcasts we like to listen to. This will be great. So Raquel, why don't you start?
Honestly, I've been listening between Chris Jolly's and Rhonda's 2 podcasts lately. And one of my friends posted something and I was like, oh, there was like a CEO podcast that I heard. And I started listening to that last night. But that's why I was like, wait, there's other podcasts out there, but there's so many to choose from. So I want to hear what you guys listen to.
Yeah, there are a lot. Well, I'm glad that you're supporting our own Chris and Rhonda. That's great to hear. I didn't hear Bathrooms and Bunkers on there. I'm a little disappointed. That's fine. I don't know. Maybe I need to make that a little bit clearer. But we got a new episode that dropped today. So check that out with the CEO from Lippert Components. That's going. All right, who else? Everybody else. I've got a couple, but I don't want to monopolize. Who else is listening to what?
I mean, he's not here, so I'll give him the free plug. Strength and Anger from Robert Bain. It's I don't. It's a different. It's for a different group, I think, but it can be.
It's Robert Bain Unplugged.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, 100%. And then I actually try and go to as many different ones as I can, to avoid the echo chamber effect. To try and find it, you pick a topic like nutrition, and then listen to 5 different ones, and get different information from different people, so you're not just listening to the same opinions.
Yeah. I'm with Greg. I'm doing a workshop next month with my team on intermittent fasting. So I just type that in the podcast, suggestions box, and then all the different ones pop up, and then, kind of go from there.
Nice. Okay. Nice. Anyone else?
Variety.
Trey, you and any other baseball fan, it's discontinued now, but I got a buddy that played for the Dodgers and the Blue Jays that has a podcast called The Big Swing. And they go into the business of baseball with, speaking of unions, things like that. The very first episode was when Joe Kelly freaked out on the Astros. So very good insider baseball doc.
Nice. Now, here's a question. Do you guys listen to podcasts for information, like to grow, to learn, or do you listen for news, or do you listen for entertainment?
Yes.
Yes.
All of the above.
All of the above. Yeah. Okay. I put a couple into the chat box. So one that I'm listening to is called Coffee with the Greats. It's a really great podcast that has a lot of CEOs and executives and just, people in those positions that are pretty fascinating to listen to. I have another podcast called the Full Send Podcast with Jared Wolf, where we talk about the inside story on the PGA Tour. So every week he's sharing what it's like to be on the PGA Tour from the inside perspective, which is pretty cool. I'm also listening to one right now called The Rise and Fall of Mars Hill, which is a religious, theological, spiritual podcast on a church that grew to like 12,000 members, and then within 2 months was completely dissolved. And what happened there, which was pretty fascinating.
Did you put that? Did you put that in the comments?
I will. And in fact, it's about a man named Mark Driscoll, who is a very charismatic leader, charismatic figure, charismatic pastor, who now pastors a church in Scottsdale called Trinity Church, and still seeing a lot of the same problems, very misogynistic, domineering, abusive culture, toxic. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. But that podcast has been good. I've been also listening to Theology in the Raw. That's one I listen to as well. There's one this guy's done named Ryan French. It's called Any Given Monday, and he interviews golfers on the mini tours and talks about what it's like to be a mini tour golfer. So I've got a lot, unfortunately, but I'm sure there's some other good ones out there. Also, I got to give a shout out to Ryan Schreiber, the Founder Studio. That's a good one as well. He's been putting a lot of good podcasts out with founders, which has been pretty awesome here.
The turnaround's a really good one. If you like good interviewers, people who are telling like really good stories, it's an old one. They stopped that, but he just interviews really good interviewers of like what they're trying to do, how they talk. I don't think he got Stern, but he got a bunch of ones that like I was fascinated. Actually, I told Ryan before he started his podcast, I was like, you got to listen to this. Like, hear what really good interviewers are thinking about before they do an interview.
Yeah.
That was an awesome one. Like Katie Quirk, he talks to a couple of them. The turnaround.
The turnaround. Okay, I'll put that in the chat as well.
And then hardcore, if you like history, hardcore history is a great one. Super long, but he gets really deep into just really cool things. He just wrapped up the whole like Japanese involvement in World War II, but it's like a 5-parter. It's like 5 hours long per episode, but it's so deep of how well Dan Carlin does. Dude, it's great when you're just driving and stuff, but he really gets into a lot of he calls himself a fan of history, not a historian. So he puts it in really good perspectives. So hardcore history is a great one.
5 hours though. I mean, I like to talk.
His are nuts, but he releases one like every 6 months, right? That's the deal. It's not a monthly thing. He does these super long ones because he just takes forever to do it.
Man, that's crazy. Impact Theory with Tom Bellew. And Evan Carmichael. All right, very cool.
Those are my two go-tos.
Yeah, I think you're right though, Raquel, when you say that there's a lot out there. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot out there, but I think that can be such a positive because there's so many things to choose from. If you know exactly what you want to hear, there's some really good things out there. But if you don't know, man, there's just it's a sea of opportunities. Or maybe like Rhonda, you just do Rhonda. It sounds like you're just doing suggested ones. Like, what do they suggest I listen to? Is what it's like. Does anybody use the Netflix suggestions? This is a new thing too. Like, I don't know what I want to watch. Just play something for me. Like, it may do that.
I've done it a couple times, and I find myself just keep skipping everything. I
can't do that. Like, I want to have a reason to watch something. Just to sit there and be like, Dad, throw something up there for me. I'll try it. I don't know.
I do that sometimes. So, but I watch a bunch of anime. I love anime, Japanese animation. So that's like all what my like anime and like documentaries and stuff. That's all I watch.
I love documentaries. I could watch those till the end of time. Love doc. That's actually, so if you're going to watch or listen to the Rise and Fall of Mars Hill, that's essentially what it's like. It's like long form journalism or documentary about what happened and interviews and real people. I like Gary V audio experience. Gary V's awesome. I like hearing real stories about real people. I've never been one that's really been into fiction. I'm really into nonfiction type things. I love autobiographies and documentaries and something that might help me in life or just might help me understand the real world. I tend to dig into that less than fantasy or, imagination. So I don't know, good or bad. That's how it is. So anyways, Hey, Rhonda, look, Megan's out for a walk, or at least I think she is. Did you run out of gas or something, or are you just out for a walk?
No, but it's gorgeous outside. It's like, I don't know, what, 70 degrees? I'm way overdressed wearing this fleece. I'm like burning up hot.
Again, as a reminder.
But I'm like, I need to get out and go for a walk and not gain like a bunch of weight being pregnant. So.
Yeah. Well, good for you for doing that. Yeah. I think it's a good thing. Yeah, good thing to get pregnant. If I was pregnant, I would just be eating all the time. That would just be my excuse.
Oh, I do.
It would just be cheeseburgers and chocolate chips.
And ice cream. No, ice cream and cereal are like what this baby wants. So what this baby wants, this baby gets.
You got to give the people what they want, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. No, that's good. All right. So we got a couple weeks before for Christmas. Let's talk a little about this. I'm going to Colombia next week. I'm super excited about that. Getting a chance to be with our team again. This will be my last trip for the year to Colombia. Got our holiday party coming up. How many of your companies do a holiday party? Maybe not last year, of course, because of COVID, but how many companies are doing a holiday party, a get together this year? Raise your hand. A little poll. 2, 3. So only 3. Wow.
Can you have a holiday party for me in Colombia next week?
Where are your people? Depends.
They're in 2 different places. So.
I'll be in Bogota and I'll be in Medellin. So if they're one of those cities, then absolutely I will. But I'm wondering if that's going to, I think that'll come back. But here's what's interesting. Last year, we gave our employees a bonus in lieu of a holiday party. This year, we asked them what they wanted. Overwhelmingly, people just wanted the bonus. They didn't care about the holiday party, which was interesting. Next year, I don't know if we'll give them the choice. We might just have to make a decision on that. But it was interesting. I just wonder if people are going to want that. As somebody who's social, I love it. I love the chance to get together and be with people. But there's probably a bunch of people that are like, I don't want to go to this thing. Like maybe they're introverts or whatever. Tyler, I don't want to go to this thing. we won't tell your employees that you said that. We'll leave that off. We'll mention that. Or has it already happened? Maybe did it already happen?
I have to host the holiday parties for my employees. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want your employees to know you don't even want to be there. Yeah. So we don't want that to get out. Tyler doesn't want to be here. He's up front and giving the speech. Oh my gosh. But I wonder if that's going to come back. I think it will, because I think that people, really like to be together. But there's always going to be some people like, I don't really want to do that. But
I know
LDI people are not having an office. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know LDI was supposed to last year, but we didn't, and I haven't heard anything this year. But that would be really cool, because then I'd get to meet all the other agents.
Do they have an agent conference separate from that? Because I know some agencies do that as well, where they have an agent conference. They bring their agents in. They bring some of their vendors in, some of the other people.
No, they said it's always just the holiday party, but we haven't had one since I've been a part.
Maybe they just haven't invited you.
Maybe.
They were like, don't tell Raquel. Don't tell them about what we do.
That's right.
I'm just kidding. Who wouldn't want you there? No, it's interesting now with remote work, because people are hiring people all over the country now. It's definitely changed. Some people aren't going back to the office. Freightwaves isn't going back to the office. We know that. There's several companies like that. So having a holiday party means actually like flying people in and being together. I just wonder if it's going to come back, or if it's going to kind of be a more of a thing of the past, holistically. Certainly some will, but
we had Trey, where you could work remotely, but you had to be in a state near a branch. And we've now dissolved that policy. So we have remote workers all over the United States now. So that would be a little challenging.
Yeah.
And we're not having a party. And that was a big deal for our company, the holiday party. So
yeah. It's interesting, because again, like I said, I just don't know that that's going to be like it was, because so many people are now going to work remote. People are hiring all over the country now. Being in the office is going to be either 50-50 or kind of more of an exception than what it was. It was more the rule. So I don't know. Greg, what do you think about that up in Matson? What are you guys doing?
This year we're still not having holiday parties. It was we were disappointed. We used to do holiday parties before last year. I think we're going to be getting back to it next year, but similar to what you're talking about, to try and at least make up for it, we've sent out a lot of pretty much monthly lunch for the offices, and we did like DoorDash subscription for however many months, and then get a gift card to everybody for nice dinner or two for the family for a night, or for DoorDash. So trying to do things, nothing quite feels the same, but it's something in that direction at least.
Yeah. I think this is just one more of those new cultural things that companies are going to have to navigate and figure out, what are they going to do about that? Do they want to just give something in lieu, maybe give a gift, give a bonus, send a Christmas card? I don't know. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but I wonder if the cost, this would be an interesting analysis for anybody who knows. I wonder if the cost of having a holiday party versus the cost of flying everybody in for maybe a smaller event. I wonder if there's any correlation to if it's more or less to do it by flying everybody in now and making hotels. I can only imagine it's more expensive. It'd be way more expensive to do that, but they're also saving on office space and some other things like that throughout the year. So I don't know. I'm not sure where that balance would fall, but it always kind of is nice to get everybody in one place from time to time. So I don't know. We'll see what happens on that. It'll be fascinating. Okay. Last thing we're going to talk about, and we're going to call it a day, is I want to talk a little about politics. So we have the bipartisan infrastructure bill that passed. There's a lot of money in there for a lot of different projects. A couple of questions. First of all, how long until we actually feel the effect of that bill? What's your guess?
5 years.
That's what I'm thinking.
5 years? Isn't that crazy? Like possibly beyond this administration, depending on what happens in 2024, 5 years before we really feel it. I mean, I think some of it is definitely needed. There's some good projects in there, but that's gonna be interesting. Yeah, Aaron.
I have a question. Is one of those, like in the bill, is any of it raising the bridges? Please tell me no.
Raising raising the height of the bridges?
Yeah.
I have not seen anything about that. That doesn't even seem realistic.
37 billion.
It's so stupid.
How many bridges are there? What was that, Kyle?
There's 617,000 bridges in the U.S., 46,000 of which are structurally deficient, and then 37 million of that bill is supposed to go to bridges, like specifically allocated just for surface transportation and the bridges.
I mean, I definitely think bridges need work.
Make them good. That's one thing, but don't raise them.
I don't.
How much was that, Kyle? 37 million with
billion.
Okay, I was like, oh, we're gonna fix 20 bridges. Sweet.
Right. It does make you wonder, like how far that's going to go. I wonder how many of those bridges though are on interstate. Because to me, like if you're going to raise bridges, that's where it would probably matter most. But at the same time, once they get off the interstate, they got to get to their destination. That seems crazy. I'd be shocked if that actually happened. If anything like that actually happened, that would be a huge undertaking to make that happen. I don't know.
When you jump into the numbers too, it's insane.
Smoking pot or something to come up with that.
I mean,
you don't need to smoke that anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Whatever. Right. I don't do drugs, so I don't know. But whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of money in there. I just don't know how. Here's what I always wonder, and I wish there's a way to track this, and maybe there is. I wish there's a way to say, okay, there's 37 billion for bridges. What actually happened to that money? Where did it go? I mean, how much that money is going to end up in someone's pocket as some sort of fees and things like that versus getting done. And, in 5 years, they're going to be like, hey, we need more infrastructure. We need more money. I don't know.
I'll borrow Tyler's tinfoil hat here. That's why I didn't say 5 years. I kept quiet because I don't think that I don't know that we will see the impact because I don't have the confidence that it'll be done in a way that'll be impactful. It'll be, hey, a couple of roads I'm not saying that they're not going to do anything. Something will happen, but will it be big enough that it will have an impact on, and forget my life, but the drivers' lives, right? Will it be an impact on will there be more rest areas for them to be able to rest so that they're not having to park down the side of the highway on the exit ramp? Will there be enough places for them to, will the scales be open longer, right? Forget making it easier for them, just more convenient for them to be able to get a scale ticket so that now there's less people trying to drive at night or something like what are we going to do that's going to have an impact on what it's supposed to be doing? I'll believe it when I see it.
I agree with you, Greg. Actually, I changed my answer from 5 years to Greg's answer.
Makes sense.
Isn't that cheaper just to make the truck smaller rather than the bridges bigger? Just do that, right? Let's get new trucks on the road.
Well, I think the issue is they wanted the trucks to be able to carry more, like higher.
So we don't have that many bridges, right? Why don't we swap trucks? You get our ones, which are way smaller. We get your semis over here.
We can put bigger containers on those smaller trucks and see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but that's crazy. But Greg, I do think there's a lot to be said about that of, just the oversight, when these bills pass, who's going to end up with, how many contracts are going to include a lot of large fees and it's going to end up in someone's pocket as opposed to actually being, and that's not even to count things like road repair. Like, I mean, think about potholes and how much damage that does to cars, to tires, to suspensions. And, a lot of that stuff, at least where I live, doesn't even get done, around here, so we're driving on bumpy roads and we're paying, tremendous, local taxes. And
so I can only talk about this because it's one of the things I'm working on right now, but the 4 million miles of road, nearly half of them are considered poor condition. It is when you really start to dive into what the infrastructure is, it's kind of like, oh God, I drive on those roads. How dare you? But like the 5 year, I think why Diane kind of predicted that is it's what was it 477 billion supposed to be spent over the next 5 years. Like, sure, are we going to see it? What are we going to see from it and stuff like that? But I see why you're saying 5 years. It makes sense when you really read what the bill is supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and it's going to take a while to fix those roads. It's not going to happen, next month. And getting the money, getting the bids, getting the projects, getting them permits, all this stuff that has to happen.
Do you guys have that over in the US?
What are you saying, Nick?
No, I was saying, like, do you guys have that over in the US? When I moved from Holland to the UK to Scotland, so our roads here are probably some of the worst in Europe, I think it was. So we've got a similar bill for our road repairs, but potholes is something we did not have in Holland. We don't. Like, literally the roads, because it's so flat, it's clay, there's nothing. So, the roads are, to be honest, quite perfect. Here we've got, like, the roads are terrible. So pothole insurance for your car was a new word to me when I moved over here. You got over there?
Yeah, Coleman, we don't have that, do we?
I was going to say, yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, hit those potholes. We'll charge you some money.
Pothole insurance. Gosh, if we had a
Yeah,
pothole,
you want to know what
hey,
happens? You want to know what
watch
happens
where
here,
you're going.
Nick? Domino's pays for your pothole. Like you can contact Domino's, the pizza chain, and tell them if you have potholes, and they'll fix it for you. That's how we work in capitalist America.
That's right. That's right. We have pizza shops fixing potholes around here. That's
yeah,
right.
I'd move back to Dallas if we had pothole insurance.
But you didn't.
Yeah, I mean, if you had a pothole here, they're like, "Hey, drive better." Like, you know, stop.
Yeah, just don't hit.
Like, watch what you're doing. don't hit the pothole.
The road in Arkansas was awful coming through Little Rock.
Yeah.
That's why we lost the vehicle off the back of our RV, because the road was just like up
really?
and down,
Oh,
and it made the
wow.
pin fall out.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
I mean, I know that when we were driving our RV, there's a lot of bouncing around sometimes going there. In fact, the microwave came loose, didn't fall, but the screws started to come loose because of how bouncy the roads were when we were in where were we? I think it was Iowa, South Dakota, somewhere up there. And I had to take the microwave out, and I had to put in a whole new secure mounts and put it in to make sure it stayed. But it's just because it's so, like, you just hit stuff, right? I mean, you're driving 15,000 pounds down the road, you can't swerve to miss a big hole. And for drivers that are taking 80,000 pounds down the road, it's even worse. They're not going to swerve to miss a pothole and things like that. Yeah. So, you know, it's a huge issue. It just continues. So we'll see what happens with that. But that leads to the second thing, and that is, now they've passed the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Now they got the Build Back Better agenda. And I'm curious, how many of you think that is going to pass in this calendar year? Raise your hand if you think it's going to pass this calendar year. All right, that's a unanimous no.
What is
on
that about?
So the Build Back Better is all the social stuff they want. You know, the different social agendas that they have. So it was originally supposed to be one package, and then the moderates and the conservatives were like, nope, you need to split these two up. We'll vote for bipartisan separate, and then we can work on this. And of course, they did that knowing that they didn't want to vote on this. They didn't want to actually go that route. So it'll be interesting. There's a lot of pushback, but there's other things in there like, you know, paid family leave and childcare credits, like childcare daycare credits, income tax credit, different things in there that are more social programs that they're wanting to spend. And that number keeps coming down, which is probably a good thing. Keeps coming down in terms of what they're trying to spend. Because if you think about Biden's administration so far, we're about a year in, and he's had, I think, 3 bills that are over $1 trillion already. You know, and so there's going to be maybe one more.
Just print them off.
This is the first year. You know, so we'll see what happens.
Maybe you need a pothole insurance to pay for some of that.
Maybe we do. I don't know, but it'll be interesting because here's my take on it. I don't think it's going to happen this calendar year. And if it doesn't happen this calendar year, it's not going to happen because it's already midterm election season. You know, people are going to start running. They're not going to be able to get it passed during the election season. And that's just going to make it, you know, the typical midterm elections. Democrats are going to lose a lot of seats. Republicans should pick some up, and it's going to be gridlock for another 2 years. That's kind of the normal way it goes. So I have a feeling that's kind of how it's going to work out. So, all right. So with that said, we should probably close up shop. I've got a couple of pictures I'm going to roll through real quick because we've missed some time. Oh, this is probably my favorite one that I want to show you, though. This is fall in the Midwest. Megan, you know all about this. So here is what has been going on at our house. Let me share this sound. This is a tradition around the Midwest, and that is raking leaves, jumping them. This is one of 3 piles in my front yard.
Wow.
And we don't even have a tree in the front yard.
Wow.
Do your neighbors have a tree in their front yard? That's what happens to us.
No, we have trees in the backyard. The neighbors have some small trees. You might see them here in a minute. But Tiger loves to jump in the leaves. It's like his favorite thing to do. We go out there and he just runs right through them, and he gets pretty aggressive. He starts biting. I don't know why, but for some reason he becomes a much more aggressive dog around leaves. Like right there, he's trying to bite, just kind of going through. But this is the typical traditional Midwest activity in the fall. Is raking all these leaves up. I literally cut down 3 trees this year to rake less leaves. I haven't even touched my backyard yet. This right here was 16 bags of leaves. And if you look out there right now, there's probably another 4 bags just waiting for me now. So pretty wild. But
it never ends. That's for sure.
It absolutely never ends. But this is one of our favorite traditions, is just doing the leaves. So there's been a lot of other things that have happened lately. We decorated our doors. You might have seen this on Instagram. So we did a little door decoration for all the girls so that we could have a little fun with that. So did some decorating of doors, got some of that done, had a good time with that. That happened. I'm trying to look more and more like Tim McGraw. Let me see. Where's that picture at? There we go. There it is. Look at that. The girls were horseback riding. Come on. That's like,
the mean mug. The mean mug
album cover right there. That's right. It's about as mean as it gets.
And the white's looking good.
Let me tell you about this real quick.
Silver
this sandwich
fox.
is amazing. Thank you, by the way. Yeah, it's coming along. I actually just shaved today. I shaved off like a half inch. It got really long. This sandwich right here, English muffin, turkey, Swiss, and then some. I can't even remember what the sauce is. I'll have to find that out. But it is absolutely amazing sandwich. Toasted English muffin, really good. That's what's been going on around my house. Not a lot's been happening. But that's kind of been it. Oh, and we got our Christmas tree up, so check it out. 9-foot tree. Let me tell you something. There's a rule around Christmas trees. You guys all need to know this. If your Christmas tree is not approaching the ceiling, challenging it a little bit, it is definitely not big enough. All right. So I don't care if you have 8-foot ceilings, 9-foot ceilings, whatever, your tree's got to get close. We just put a topper on it and it now is touching the ceiling. So we're pretty excited about that. So
that is the bane of my existence when we pick out a tree. We're at home and I will show my wife the tape measure. We can get an 8-foot tree. That is the limit. And we get there and we start looking at the 8-foot trees. And of course, the 8-foot tree is next to a 12-foot tree. She's like, oh, it looks so small. And we end up coming home with a 9-foot tree. I'm like,
you're like, tape measure. Like, this doesn't lie. This is empirical evidence. So you're like, you got the Christmas Vacation one where it's like wrapping around the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
You got to cut some off at the bottom. Like, this is killing me. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, let's end with this last thing. It's Christmas, holiday movie season time. What holiday movies you guys? What are some can't miss holiday movies you guys have to watch?
Die Hard.
I knew that was coming out.
Just had to poke that one up.
I love that one.
Grinch.
All right, so the Grinch. Which one?
Elf.
Which Grinch?
Well, the original is better, but we just watched the new one.
The Jim Carrey Grinch
last night.
I like the Jim Carrey one too.
Yeah, I like the
Jim Carrey one, definitely.
Yeah,
That's
it's a Christmas story for me. I'll watch that. I'll have it on for 24
Christmas
hours
story.
every single year and just
I'm
continually catch it.
here. It is like, and I'm glad I've got now a 3-year-old because I can literally watch all day long. It's like from Home Alone to Santa Claus to
Home Alone,
Miracle on Elm Street. Like anyone, just give me them. That's fine.
Yeah,
we've watched Home Alone and Home Alone 2 twice in my household already.
Oh yeah.
But 3 and 4, right? Like they're
my daughter's like watching all of them, but they're terrible. You're right, Nick. They're horrible.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, I refuse to watch those. I'm like, hey, if you want to watch a movie, that's fine, but I'm not watching those. Those are terrible.
No.
Whoever wrote those, horrible. Hopefully, not making any more movies.
Well, I was gonna say,
Brutal.
Greg. I don't know. Maybe you would know, but you know the Home Alone, the original Home Alone house is in Winnetka, Illinois.
Yeah.
And I guess Monday, I think they're opening up for one day only for the Airbnb.
They are. I didn't know they were doing that.
Yeah, and 4 people can go and like experience. It's like a Home Alone experience for like $25.
So the hotel room,
$5.
Two weird connections to Home Alone. The kid who gets counted in the van instead of Kevin went to school with my brother, and my brother just talked like every year. He's like, "Oh, I know him. It's like, yes, I get it.
We got it.
Know somebody
we
who
got it.
But then the other one, the hotel room that they're staying at in Paris in Home Alone was actually it was another house that was in the same neighborhood, and some guy I went to college with. So they basically kept that room as it was in the movie because a guy in my swim team, he grew up in that house. And so they just didn't touch anything from that room. So to this day, that room looks exactly like the hotel room, the Paris hotel room does.
Are they giving $25 tours?
Yeah.
They probably could. I mean, although Winnetka, they probably don't need to.
Bougie.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, everybody, thanks for joining today after skipping last week. We'll be back next week for episode 86 of Word on the Street, powered by Lean Solutions Group. You guys have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
No one watches Love.